My name is Micheál Orlandi. I've been running Compas Stallions for the past 5 years. Fundamentally, I have no background in racing or bloodstock, no connection, no affiliation, bar, a sole, love for the game and interest. But I was fortunate when I was younger to get involved in show jumping and hunting, and then from that my interest grew. When I was finishing up my leaving cert, I applied for a job with Compas Stud in Australia. I was 18, very young, very naive, but that was very much an eye-opener. The right thing I did was come back and go to UCD, and I did my Commerce International degree. I think after that my interest very much grew in racing. I bumped into Maurice Burns at graduation, and he suddenly saw that I had an interest in industry, and he said, if you like to get a job, get in touch. And I suppose Maurice was the first person that gave me an opportunity to have a full-time job at it. I was keen to get involved with a big trainer, and thanks to Maurice I had the opportunity to get in touch with Mark Johnston. And originally Mark thought of me as maybe a yard manager, but I pitched him this concept that I came across in Australia, where a lot of the big Australian trainers had maybe assistants. I never saw myself as a trainer, but I wanted to work in a big training yard to understand how the trainer side of things worked, how racing worked, and get a better understanding of it. Thankfully, I created a job on a spot that was his bloodstock and marketing manager, and that taught me a lot about business, not solely about the industry as a trainer. As time passes, I realised that I learned more than I thought I learned at the time. In the last couple of years, I was hoping, to have my own stud farm, but I had to test the model first. And when the model stood up to it, I suppose I then went about investing and developing Starfield Stud, which was, my home place. To turn into a stud farm and a stallion farm, I had to do it in an aesthetic way that it would appeal both to the breeder coming in and also the people I'm involved with the stallions. So for 2020, we got My Dream Boat, offering national breeders an opportunity to breed to a Royal Oscar Group 1 winner. On top of that, he's a multiple group winner. Great advertising for stock he throws is that the majority of mares he covered last year were repeat mares, and they were so taken by the foals by him. They came back in multiple numbers with more mares, and that gives me great hope going forward. Compas Stallions was one of the leading first season sires last year, bringing a Group 2 winner, Micheál Orlandi. On top of that, he had multiple maiden winners. And all in all, I couldn't dream of a better start for a young stallion, and his sire showcase is going strength to strength. But as now 3-year-olds will kick on, and Micheál Orlandi will be aimed at the Commonwealth, and the vibes and feedback again from Roger Varian is very positive. So he looks like he could be a leading second crop sire, and to have a stallion like him available to breeders is fantastic. We've got Smooth Daddy, a well-bred son of Scat Daddy, who was a top-class racer, very consistent, very tough. He ran for 5 seasons, and already to have breeders coming back with their initial viewing of their foals says a lot about the quality of foal he's breeding, and I'm very, very hopeful that he'll do very well in 2020, and I think he's great value. We got Coratio, who had a fantastic year last year, both on the racetrack and the covering shed, covered over 100 mares, and belonged to well-renowned breeders across Ireland and the UK. His stats are unbelievable. Physically, he's hard to fault. He's all you expect from a Group 2 5 furlong winner, and his pedigree really came to light last year as well, between his full sister breeding Anthony Van Dyke and his also half-sister breeding a 4.1 million Curlin yearling in Keeneland, sold to Sheikh Mohammed. So he has the physical, he has the pedigree, he had the performance in racetrack, and more importantly now, he has having the results in the racetrack. Every time a mare comes in to get covered, whether it's again covered by Coratio, My Dream Boat, Smooth Daddy or Compas Stallions, but that's when the dream begins. Regardless who owns it, it's the start of a journey, from the covering shed to hopefully to the winning post.